Hi leaders, I want to walk you through our new series for this month. This is the 4th and 5th grade lesson. Our series is called 5K, Run the Race, okay? And we're going to be talking about training our bodies physically versus training our spirit, okay? So that's what we're gonna be talking about this month. So there are 4 activities, I believe. Yeah, 4 activities for this age group. So the first one, you're gonna give each kid 2 index cards. Oops. Okay, you'll have the index cards here, and I have this pencil case with pencils in there for you. So you're gonna give each kid 2 index cards and a pencil. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have them write something they feel on one card is super important to practice. Okay, so maybe something like a sport is really important to them, or practicing piano, or practicing spelling words, or practicing singing, something that's super important to them to practice. And then something that's a little less important. So maybe practicing snapping, like learning to snap, or maybe practicing whistling is one that's I saw on the list. So on one card, they're going to write something that's important to them to practice, and the other is going to be something that's a little bit less important for them to practice, okay? And it gives you some examples. So it says whistling, being kind, flying a plane, braiding your hair, training a dog, brain surgery, learning the Bible, generosity, yodeling, running, and loving God. So those are just some examples. So you're going to collect all the kids' cards when they're done. You can feel free to add some in too if you think of some examples. And you're going to pick one at a time, read a card, and ask the kids to respond if it's important to practice or not important to practice or less important to practice. So here's how they're going to tell you. If they think that it is less important to practice, they're going to stand still. Okay, so they need to be standing up. So they're just going to stand still. That's how they show they feel like it's not really that important. If they get something maybe like training a dog. So training a dog could be something that's not necessarily less important, but it's not the most important. So maybe they feel like it's kind of in the middle. So they're going to run slowly in place. Okay, so if they feel like that's like medium of importance, then they're going to run slowly. If they think something like generosity is super important, then they're going to run really, really fast in place. Okay, so that's how they're going to show you how they feel like that falls on the scale of being important or less important. So not that important, they're going to stand still. If they feel like it's medium important, they're going to run slowly in place. And if they feel like it's super important, they're going to run super fast in place. Okay, so you can go through all the note cards that they give, throw some of your own in there. Just to give maybe some silly ones, maybe some ones that they have to think about. And then it gives you a couple questions to ask at the end, okay? So that's the first activity. The second activity is a Bible story extension. So it says at the top that you need Bibles, foils, paper cups, paper plates, tape, and scissors. So I didn't put any paper cups or paper plates in here because I don't feel like you need them. But you are going to need to give one. I would pair them up and give them a sheet of foil. Okay, I already have these sheets of foil already cut for you, so you don't have to worry about any of that. But it says you're going to review today's scripture, 1 Corinthians 9:24 through 27. There's a couple questions to ask them. And then what you're going to do is our areas of importance to practice training our spirit and not physical training. So we're going to talk about these 4 things on Sunday. So hearing from God, praying to God, talking about God, and living for God, okay? So you're going to assign each pair. So ultimately you should have 4 groups. So however you have to split them up to have 4 groups, do it that way. If you have about 7 or 8, I would say probably 2 a group. Maybe you could pair up with a kid, or you could do 1 and have them do 3. However you want to pair that up is fine. But what they're going to do is out of their tin foil, they're going to make a trophy or a medal describing the word they get. So if they get hear from God, they're going to make a trophy that they feel like represents hearing from God. So I would say the most obvious probably they're going to do is an ear, maybe. Or maybe other ways we can hear from God is by reading the Bible. So maybe they make a Bible out of foil. Pray to God, I would think maybe they would do like a mouth, maybe talking, but maybe they'll do praying hands. Living for God, that could be a bunch of different things they can do with the foil for that. They just want to use their creativity to think of a trophy or a medal, some kind of way to represent that phrase that they get with the foil. Okay, so I think that one's going to be fun. I think they're going to have a good time with this one. I will try to work on some examples to have them see, because I feel like sometimes if they can see it, then it's a little easier. but I'll work on that for this week to have that ready for Sunday. But the foil sheets will already be cut for you, and then they're going to get to use their creativity a little bit on this one, okay? And I will have scissors in there for them. I'll have some tape because they'll most likely need some of that. I'll have all that in your bin for you, okay? So that's that activity. The third activity is discussion questions. Okay, there's always some of these in there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different discussion questions talking about commitment. So commitment is our word for this month. So these questions go in a little bit deeper about commitment. And then the last activity is a prayer activity. So you're going to need the foil trophies they made from the Bible Story Extension. And so it says, set the trophies made in Bible Story Extension in 4 corners of your area. Invite kids to rotate from station to station every couple minutes as they pray about how they can hear from God, pray to God, talk about God, live for God, and then it says dismiss in a final prayer. So if you feel like the kids are not comfortable doing that on their own, you could lead that as the leader. So maybe take some time to pray for how we can hear from God, pray how we can pray to God, how we can talk to God, talk about God, and how we can live for God. So you kind of feel like your group feel like if you need to facilitate that, I think that's fine. Or if you feel like the kids are going to do that on their own, I think that's fine too. You can also take prayer requests this time. Let the kids pray out loud if they want to. I think that's good too. Whatever your group kind of is feeling, I think is just okay. And I think you will know best as the leader. And I will also have the cut memory verse cards for them to take home. So they need to take those home this week. And I will also have the memory verse games. So the ones that are the little phrases that are cut up, I'll have all those in your bin for this weekend. And I believe that is it. So I will see you on Sunday. Bye.